Hey there, everybody! Seth here with the Super Boss Holy Guardian Tsubaki Showcase and Release! As pretty much promised before the end of February, because I'm on that shit. No, I said this was gonna probably come after something else, but that seemed stupid, and that's taking longer than expected to make anyways, the other thing, so I figure since I did finish all of her little tweaks and fixes, or at least I fucking hope, yeah, I'll release Tsubaki before probably taking longer to upload whatever the next thing is going to be. Yeah, I think I don't really have much exposition for this intro, so hopefully not drag it out that long. Our practice dummy for today is going to be Nine the Phantasm because she is, in fact, a skank-ass hoe and nobody likes her. Well, people probably do like Nine, but nobody likes fighting Nine. Come on, y'all gotta give me that one. Nobody likes fighting Nine. But anyways, might as well just go and get the showcase started already before the intro drags on to 3 minutes and the video length drags on to like an hour. Although it probably might actually last that long regardless. In any case, Holy Guardian Tsubaki. Gotta once again give credit to Baroque for, because I basically ripped Unlimited Tsubaki stuff from his Unlimited Tsubaki mod to make, remaking it take less time. Notably, Kyrie Elysian right here, Meteors, and also DSE Ray. And as you can see, Tsubaki is fully in English dubbed. I have included the voice mod, this voice mod in the video, in the download as well. So you have English Tsubaki, because similar to Relia, she's in the CS voice sets. And, figure since I'm releasing the Super Boss, might as well release this voice mod along with it. And, actually, yeah, And in addition to that, the song you hear in the background, which actually goes over Condemnation Wings 2, that's going to be included as well. So you get the Super Boss, an English dub mod for her, and normal Tsubaki, obviously. And this music mod, this is a pretty big fucking package, I must say. Crap, that actually counted as exposition. It's 3 minutes. Okay, so moving on to the actual fucking character. Holy Guardian Tsubaki. Credit to Baroque, everything else is done by me, blah 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 blah. Let's get to business. Let's get to what you all came here to see. To start off, she obviously has her additional Super Boss health. Tsubaki here in particular has 19,000, so seems to be like the most common amount between Super Bosses, because the most common amount for characters to have normally is 11,000 or around that area. So most Super Bosses, since I just add 8,000 onto it usually, gonna have around that level of HP. Another thing easy to notice is her extremely flashy aura there. That is purely cosmetic, along with her idle pose. Her idle pose is not cosmetic, however, I will say that does have a gameplay effect, how she's standing there. But the aura is to make her look fancy. She has a new intro, a new generic intro, I should say, that overwrites all her normal ones. Character-specific intros will work like normal, but she has a new intro for generic matchups, along with a new win pose in a similar vein. She has increased overdrive duration with most super bosses, going to 13 seconds at full health, 22 when on low health. Basic stuff at this point I'm sure you're all familiar with. I gave her a 50% speed increase all around to all of her movement, her air dashes, her run speed. Her run speed's really fucking fast. Her backdash goes farther and has more invulnerability along with new animation there. See, it uses the backdash animation she sort of does for Requiem Maledictus. Has equally fitting enhanced invulnerability and distance, so better backdash overall. She has an extra jump, so 3 jumps. Wait, was that 3? 1, 2, 3. And an extra air dash, so she has 2 air dashes and 3 jumps. And going back to her idle pose there with her floating, like I said, that's not cosmetic. Her floating state as she stands, and as well as jump startup, walking, and ground dashing, she is completely immune to foot attribute attacks while she's in all of those states. So I think, yeah, the best way to show would be to have 9 run up, and her 2A will completely whiff because Tsubaki is floating. That applies to most lows pretty much, too. So basically, just about every low attack, so long as Tsubaki is just standing there or walking, It'll whiff. Does that mean Azurite Inferno whiffs? Oh my god. Okay, so as long as Tsubaki isn't in the middle of 5Aing, Azurite Inferno, as you can see, if Tsubaki does like a 5A though, she gets hit. So, as long as you're in a neutral state and not attacking, Tsubaki will just passively dodge all low attacks on the ground, pretty much, for the most part. Interesting change that I'm probably not going to do for any other Super Boss, so that's going to be completely unique to her. Next up, we got her, as you can see, her install gauge is at 5 and flashing, like Mokto, her install is active. That's because it is. So, Holy Guardian Tsubaki does in fact have infinite D gauge and D specials, meaning she can spam D Veritas, D Agnus Dei, D Aquum, Benedictus Rex, Eterna, all that good stuff, as much as she wants. Unfortunately, that does admittedly kind of make the rest of her specials, the A versions, etc., kind of obsolete and useless. Hopefully not entirely, because I tried to add the weaker versions to have certain benefits over the D specials, but I imagine for the most part, myself, the AI, and probably all of you will probably just stick to using just the D specials, because, I mean, why would you not? Due to the above, yeah, her D charge normals, because she has permanent install, are completely removed, so her X button, D button, doesn't do anything. X button on PlayStation Controller, which I play on. All of her normals that can be advantaged via the charge canceling tactic that has been where you basically, to cancel recovery or on block, you do 5D instead because it's faster than just letting the attack recover. I have adjusted pretty much to the best of my ability. I have made all of her normals faster in regards to the recovery of 5D charge canceling. So I know that sounds really confusing, but basically a lot of her like really unsafe normals, like her C normals especially, benefit from it. Since you can't charge cancel those because, well, install charge is gone, I lessened the recovery to be kind of the same by default. Hopefully that all makes sense. Special moves, all of her specials can cancel into each other on block instead of just on hit. And any special can cancel into any special higher on the Revolver action chain, or to Sanctus Arrolata, which is a command grab. So, B Aquum can cancel into Arrolata. I think... I'm trying to realize what that... Because I don't have A Veritas. I didn't bring back A Veritas or C Veritas from, like, CS Unlimited, because I kind of didn't see the point of that. I tested them and checked to see, like, oh well, it's in the change list. It's there. It seems kind of vague, I hate to say. But yeah, specials can cancel into each other on block as well as, like, not just only on hit. For example, we have... There you go, right there. Wait, why didn't she block Agnus Dei? I have her set to block all. She blocks D Agnus Dei? What? Well, I'll check that and make sure. It doesn't look like I accidentally made B Agnus Dei unblockable or something, so that's not the problem. I'll look into that before this goes up, though. I think the AI is just being weird. Okay, so with a lot of that big stuff out of the way, we go into our normal changes for the time being before we go into bigger stuff yet again. As per the usual swing of things. We're gonna... Ooh, wow, this is... I seem to change the order of this every time I make a change list. We're gonna start with 6A. 6A, simply put, cancels into 6B now, on block or on hit. So you can do overhead, low. That's literally it. 6B and 6BB, however, can both cancel into C moves now. 6C has some invulnerability between starting up and attacking. I know I said I'd buff 6C. Apparently that change was active during the Mars run. It just never actually worked for me. But, what's a good way? Yeah, I'll just have 9 do 5B. Wow, my god, that range is obnoxious. Shit. Ah, there we go, see. She sidesteps out of the way of the 5B and does her 5C swing. Basically sidesteps, is it normal? It doesn't specify what she's invulnerable to, so I imagine it's total invulnerability during the time she's spinning and before she actually does the slash. So it's not much, but it can dodge certain attacks. 6C also fatal counters, and you can now jump cancel it on block as well as on hit. Not 6CC apparently though. You cannot jump cancel that on block, but you can do that. Oh, that's a nasty looking cross up. Anything else? 6C also does 50% more damage. Ooh, yeah, 1,000 raw. That's not bad. That was a pretty basic bitch ghetto combo that did 4K. 2BB. This trips and gives some knockdown time. Seems kind of weird, but I recall there being a purpose for that. I can't quite remember what it was, but it was for something. Because maybe... Huh. Yeah, there's definitely something behind that. It's just not noted here. 5C, 5CC, and 2CC can both cancel into 3C. So, 5C, 3C, 5CC, 3C, and 2C, 2C, 3C. 2C cannot cancel into 3C unless you go into the second kick there. Although, as you can see, that's basically only useful if the 2C gets blocked. 5C, fatal counters now, and is jump cancelable. 5CC can cancel into jump or 6C on block. Need to have her block, whoops. So, jump cancel, 6C, jump cancel off 6C. So, basically her C moves have all been much more flexible in terms of what you can go into after them, because she seemed really restrictive in that regard, and I didn't really like that at all. 6CC, while you can't jump cancel it, it does have more untack, and the bonus proration on this move has actually been up from 120 to 130, so it will upscale your combo more than normal if you do 6CC. What if you can combo into Meteor somehow? That's something for later, though, I imagine, to wonder. 6CC also has the same 50% damage increase as 6C does, and the proration 2 value has been changed from 90 to 94, which is... Seems like a pretty small change, but it does give it more damage overall. So, in other words, her 6C normals in general have been made much better and much less garbage. And completely, definitely much more practical now. 2C and 2CC both have head invulnerable that starts on frame 1 of the move, making them much better anti-airs. And they're both air unblockable through air barriers, so that means if I have 9... Jump and air... Wow, she jumps really far. If I have 9 jump and air barrier, you can see 2C goes through the air barrier guard. Because I know Tsubaki didn't really have a good, like, really super amazing anti-air normal besides that, and 2C starts pretty late with the head invulnerability. So, fix that right up as well. 3C! You've already seen me hit her with this several times. You're probably wondering, Seth, what in the other fuck did you do to Tsubaki 3C? Well, I'll tell you. In my own description, 3C has been turned into an atrocious, unholy combination of Kaiki's Stun Dipper from Guilty Gear and Yu Narukami's SB Swift Strike from Persona 4 Arena. It has head and body invulnerability until recovery, from frame 1 as far as I remember. Goes much farther, has much faster startup, and hits up to 5 times. And on top of that, it is super cancelable. Into 236, 236C, or 236, 236D. I think it also goes into Requiem Maledictus. So, that's definitely an obnoxious option. 3CC, the follow-up, the flip kick, recovers faster and allows for more follow-up, so you can do 2C pickup. Instead of having to do like a 5A, or I think you had to do like 5B afterwards? Something like that? Regardless, it gets much more height and less recovery, so you can do 2C off of it instead for easier combos. Easier and better combos, I'd assume. The last change that we have for normal moves is her JCC, which is now a multi-hit move. Hits up to 3 times. Pretty good for air combo filler, assuming you can carry high enough to do... Typically, that's why you do, like, yeah, you do that. You do like, JB, JBB, JB, JBB, or whatever, and you typically go into C normals after that. I find that makes it connect a lot better overall. Now then, with normals out of the way, we move on to specials. How are we doing on time? We're doing pretty good on time, 15 minutes. I say that, but watch this get a lot longer exponentially once we start talking about her specials and distortions. So, another thing to note, generally, all of her specials, I have mixed her neutral specials and her follow-up specials. Basically, the best aspects of both of them, like faster startup and stuff like that, have been merged into just single specials. So, the best example I can probably use is Veritas. So, Veritas, normally, if you use it in neutral, it is kind of freaking slow, but if you use it as a follow-up to Aquum here, it's pretty fucking fast. So, basically, I took the faster startup of follow-up Veritas, and just gave it to normal Veritas, and then deleted follow-up Veritas. Basically, that's the gist, the basic example of what I've done. Not just a faster startup, but anything like better hit stun, anything along those lines, I have added from the follow-up versions to the neutral versions. All versions of Sanctus Aquum travel farther and faster with projectile guard point. I think from frame 1, potentially. Does 9... want to do a 5C there? Shit. Oh, I think she has to be in motion for it to actually armor stuff. Little hard to time. But, yeah, so the projectile guard point, unless that's not a projectile for some stupid fucking reason. I would not be surprised considering Amane's ribbons, or his C-normals, aren't projectiles, so... But, let's be honest, 9s really look like they should be projectiles, so I'm not sure if I'm just mistiming it wrong, or something along that line, but, moving on. Aquum has slightly faster startup and much less recovery, so I think you can actually link, like, yeah, you can definitely 5... No, I guess not. That's basically just, to end block strings, I suppose. B Aquum has A version's old startup before I sped it up, so... That's faster as well. C Aquum has a long spin state on hit, and holding C causes Tsubaki to not do the side swap. This is from Unlimited Tsubaki and CP, I believe. I'm not sure exactly. Normally it side swaps, though, and I don't think it usually spin states. I know spin state, I'm pretty sure, is from Unlimited Tsubaki in CP. D Aquum... Wait, what the hell? Nothing on... Oh, there we go. D Aquum has full invincibility. So full invincibility once she starts moving. So the moment she starts moving forward, she gets full invincibility. Which means you have an invulnerable approach option. And she goes full screen. This is made even worse when you add the Aura version, obviously. Making this a very, very annoying... I experienced it firsthand with the AI when fighting her for the best of 5 video. It was terrible. The AI abuses this to high hell and makes it really boring to fight. Despite the fact that I gave Tsubaki all these neat little traits, the AI, all it wants to do is just spam Aura boosted shield charge. It really is a tragedy. D Veritas can be jump cancelled on block. That's literally it. Coming back from games prior to Central Fiction, so from Continuum Shift and CP and their revisions, we have Sanctus Decus. As you can see, it has not replaced Agnes Day, so this is still usable. Decus is now on a 46B/46D command, so back forward. For some reason in the videos, it was a 1B, 1D command. It actually fucked up with its ability to be cancelled into from other specials, but now it should work perfectly like it used to in the older games, and it's another... Brought back Decus since it got eaten by Agnes Day with a new command, obviously, because 22D and 22B are taken by Agnes Day now. Decus can now cancel into Benedictus Rex and also Sanctus Arulata, so you can do Decus DP. Probably works better in the corner. Yeah, there you go. Decus DP or Decus on block and then do Sanctus Arulata command grab. Yeah, that works. You can probably space that out to be a pretty good throw setup. More or less. The pushback's a little too strong. Decus, both versions will actually eat projectiles while charging. Please work. Shit. 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 Really? Hold on. Maybe if I have her do 5D. Let me set her flame stocks to be all fire. And then... Huh. There we go. The timing's just a little fucking picky. Ooh, that's gonna be... mad money. Probably could have done something better than that, but, you know. Decus auto-guards projectiles while charging. That's from her unlimited... I believe that was a thing for her unlimited in CS and also in CP, but I'm not sure. One thing I did add outside of that, though, is that full charge Decus will now have 50% minimum damage in combo. So if you can somehow work that in, that's a pretty good way to tack on damage at the very end there. Although I think it only worked for B Decus, apparently. I'm not sure what's up with D Decus, but the minimum damage on that didn't seem to work for some reason. As much as I tried, it just didn't seem to apply. I'm pretty sure the attribute on there is still included on the move, it just doesn't work. And one last thing about D-Decus is that it causes the opponent to wall bounce even when they're not in the corner. That's only on air hit, though, because obviously... Oh, never mind, yep. Obviously, it'll wall bound them in the corner, as per normal. That's a lot of shit for Decus, damn. A Lux Eterna has close to no landing recovery. You can actually combo into Veritas after it because of that. Or you can do 2B pickup. So that's a very good, that's a decent string ender too, just because of the very low recovery. But yeah, you can do A Eterna into B Veritas, and it will combo. If your timing isn't awful like mine, good god. Come on, Seth. You were doing it before. There we go. The timing's a bit picky. But, so, that's a thing. Lux Mocto and Aquam Elysian, so her grounded orbs. A orb, D orb, A orb, D orb. These used to not have a projectile limit on them, so that Tsubaki could basically just spam orbs all day, every day. Which you still can for the ground version, but the air version you can't, because it was actually... Oh, never mind. I guess you can. Sort of. I think you can only do it twice. Yeah, so you can do 2 A air orbs before you have to land. D version only has 1, though. You can only do 1 D orb, because if I removed it completely, it allowed her to fly in the air and stall obnoxiously if she wanted. Which, fortunately, the AI doesn't do, but players could easily do this, and that's not very fun or interesting to see Tsubaki air camping with orbs, so... But, off that side tangent, her orbs, both grounded and aerial, the projectiles move faster and do more damage. A versions also have reduced recovery to give her slight zoning potential without having to use Requiem Maledictus for ranged pressure. Yeah, 1 projectile on screen limit has been removed for Lux Mocto, and a projectile flies 50% faster. Both versions of Aquam Elysian leave Tsubaki in normal fall, so you can actually do air normals after you toss the orbs out. For both versions. Or I guess not the D version? What? Oh, I guess the recovery on the D version is just longer. 236 and J214D Aura versions, so D Aquam with the Aura, or Eterna with Aura have also been buffed to have double damage and invincibility if they didn't already have it. So this is also invincible until recovery. God, this changeless is a mess, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry if this is pretty disorganized. I don't know what I was doing on this one. I didn't take the time to look at it before recording. Thought it'd usually just be decently tidy like it usually is. Sanctus Aerolata, command grab, half circle back, and C is way fucking faster. Does 2 more additional hits. And is actually special cancelable on the last hit, so you can continue a combo afterwards. And as you can see, it actually has pretty good proration off of the grab too. Buff the damage overall of Sanctus Aerolata, and it's actually throw invulnerable for the entire duration too, so it'll beat pretty much every other command grab for the most part. Probably, I'm not sure if I said it already, or if I said something else, but if I did say something else, I was wrong. This has to be my favorite special of Tsubaki, and that's probably why I buffed it so much, along with the fact that it just generally seemed pretty weak. Outside of just being a command grab, it didn't really do much damage, you didn't really get much off of it. Well, now you can go into Veritas and stuff off of it if you don't whiff it, that is, like I did. Or you can also just go straight into fucking... I think you can actually just go straight into... Comfortatus Maledictus. Please tell me that's right. Oh, good. Alright. Tsubaki says the opposite of that, but I was pretty sure, yeah. Is that all? Okay, Benedictus Rex, C version. This is a little awkward, but it's probably really cool. I think a lot of you will like this. So, when Tsubaki does a DP, she's not actually the hitbox. The hitbox is actually on these projectile swords that fly up out of the ground, fun fact. Because of that, I was actually... And seeing as there's really no reason to not use D DP over C DP for the most part now, because of Infinite Insult Age, C Benedictus Rex actually sends out all 3 of the swords in a horizontal pattern rather than all vertically like the normal version would. So this actually gives her C Reversal a huge amount of horizontal range that it did not have, and that D version also lacks. You can also whiff cancel the C version into Eterna as soon as she's done with her, before she enters her special false state. So you don't actually need to hit that to cancel into a dive. It can make you safer, especially if you do the A version with less landing recovery. D Benedictus Rex does more damage per hit to match the C version swords, because if you actually hit all 3 swords on the C version here, which I think is probably possible, maybe in the corner. You're probably just gonna get 2. But to match the damage increase, kind of, D Benedictus got a damage buff, just a little bit, because I think the C version swords individually do more damage. So I buffed the D version swords to do generally the same amount of damage. They prorate better as this prorates better as a combo starter too, so that's how you get easy 4K off of just DDP or Eterna. Agnes Day! Both versions have foot and throat invulnerability from frame 1, so kind of like her standing state, except with Agnes Day. And she's immune to throws as well. Oh, I know why. I know why. Okay, also Agnes Day can cancel into Decus. So you can either end with Decus or you can end with Agnes Day, depending on how... I think in the corner, it's typically you want to do Decus, and mid-screen you want to do Agnes Day because you can't go into... Yeah. For the most part. Okay, so coming back to why the AI doesn't block B Agnes Day, that's because B Agnes Day not only causes a hard knockdown, but it also has to be barrier blocked. And with that, see, she blocks just fine now. D version does not need barrier blocked. However, it has much better proration too, and actually slams the enemy into a down state, and keeps the ground bounce. So, good extender. But yeah, probably in neutral or in block strings you want to do B, because if your opponent's not expecting to barrier block, or if they don't want to barrier block, or if they're in danger state, this just became unblockable. Alright. Oh, wow, that is fucking... That's an odd order. Oh, I know why it's in that order. I know what's in that order. Okay. So, moving on to her normal distortions that she has normally. And then, well, yeah, let's just get that out of the way. So, didn't really buff Computatus Maledictus, the D version, because, well, obviously since she has permanent install gauge, it's always the max shield version, which does a shit ton of damage. So it didn't really need much of anything. The C version, however, has much more untech, and it has 120 Proration 1 and Proration 2, meaning it upscales your combo, and also launches... shit. Also launches slightly higher on this shield bash hit. Allowing for easier extensions off of that. And Requiem Maledictus. This is a limited change from CP, obviously, because this move wasn't introduced until that game. Each Requiem Maledictus sword will now do multiple hits so long as it's connecting with the opponent. And they don't go away if Tsubaki gets hit. Yes, if you're wondering if that is actually how it worked in Chrono Phantasma for her Unlimited, yes, that is exactly how it worked for Chrono Phantasma. I checked it myself. I checked it several times to make sure I wasn't delusional. But yeah, you get 71 hits off that, and even if you hit her out of it, the swords will still go through. Scales the hell out of your combo, but it's definitely a great tool for pressure and for getting in, because... yeah, that's a free approach. And dipping off of that now, very awkwardly, we now go into new moves. So her Unlimited Distortions, along with other stuff I have personally added. One of the latter is a new special that I kind of wish I made use of during the Mars run, but completely forgot existed. 2-8D. And it is a charge command, so you hold down, down, and then you hit up and D. Tsubaki will float in the air for a second and land if it fails. It's basically a counter. And if your opponent hits you during this counter, they will be fatal countered, launched 50 feet into the air, and in case you didn't notice, their barrier gauge will be completely depleted and put them into danger state. In case you didn't get the reference, shit. This is, in fact, more or less a copy. Oh, and Tsubaki does a nice little taunt if she does get the counter. That is indeed a copy of Elizabeth's Debilitate from Persona 4 Arena. Well, as good as you can kind of make it with Tsubaki. Anything else to note about that? If she's hit... yeah, the danger state thing is basically to, kind of mimic the negative penalty state it gives, because I don't know a way to force negative penalty yet, if it's even possible for me to do. Counter's basically all the same shit that Elizabeth's Debilitate does in that game, so... it is throw immune because she's fucking airborne during it, but if she lands for recovery, you'll get throw countered. I do believe it, yeah, it eats projectiles, at least just about everything. Does air throw work?
How dull.
Huh. Yeah, so... Debilitate. 236C or D after Aquam is her shield spike from her unlimited versions. Works just the same. I think... let me see here. Can't remember if I reverted that or not. This move is basically the same as it was in CP. The C version causes a ground slide, and the D version will cause a wall bounce. Not much more to say about that. And now... yeah, we'll go for her unlimited distortions first. We have Air 236-236C, which is Dies Irae from Continuum Shift, originally. Pretty much unchanged. I think I buffed the damage on this to more match the Continuum Shift version compared to Chrono Phantasma. But, yeah, just a fun fact, as you can see, she actually has an English dub line for this move. Found it in the Continuum Shift voice lines that it just doesn't get used, but it's in there, so figured I'd add it to the voice pack for the Super Boss mod to use. Not really any harm in that. And then we have her fucking Kyrie Elysian Meteors, half circle back, forward, D. Pretty much as obnoxious as it was in CP. Don't really need to say anything else on that, I don't think. And now for completely new distortions that I myself have added. Starting with 22C, Lacrimosa. This will cause Tsubaki to basically do her Crush Trigger animation and spawn a DAC Ray Sword Portal beneath the enemy. This is basically to be used after knockdowns, and is more or less a copy of Ori's 22C from Under Night In-Birth, because, I mean, look at these two. They kind of have the same leitmotif theme, and I kind of wanted to give Tsubaki something from Ori, and couldn't really think of something other than that. So there you go. This Lacrimosa doesn't have any invulnerability, so basically, unless you're very confident in your ability to predict the opponent, I would not, The portal has pretty good tracking before it starts becoming active and shooting up the swords, though, so it can catch some people. Just, yeah, if your opponent can full-screen punish you... Oh, shit, well, I guess that beats maybe pressure. But yeah, if your opponent can full-screen punish you, don't do that, probably, unless they're knocked down. Probably maybe just use Requiem Maledictus instead, actually. Next up, we have Sanctus Dominus. I love this move. I loved making this move. It was kind of a pain in the ass to get working at some point, but this attack is really nice in my opinion. I'll just show you guys. Tsubaki will rush forward and do a barrage if she connects, kind of like Ragna's Carnage Scissors. Only if she hits, obviously. If it's on block, you're kind of going to get punished, but if it hits, she will go into this neat little combo attack where she kicks you and then hits you with a aura-charged Agnus Dei hammer, causing an explosion of light energy as she poses afterwards. I'm not going to continue to compliment myself over how I feel about that attack. I'll just, yeah, I'll stop now. Anything else noting of Sanctus Dominus? No invulnerability, but it does have very, very good minimum damage, so it is a very good distortion for combos. Also forces Grounded Stagger State to catch enemies in the air. C, obviously, yeah. So, CCC, 5cc, or 6cc, Sanctus Dominus has got me 6k. Does not have any invulnerability, though, so don't try to use this as an approach option, unless you're positive your opponent isn't going to fucking hit you out of it, like so. And the last new distortion I've given her, well, completely new distortion I've given her, is 214-214C. Unfortunately, does not have a name, but... it is, in fact, a command grab, and yes, it is meant to basically be, fuck. Yeah, Dizzy's Necro's Anger, well, I mean, obviously, it's the bow. The bow portion is taken from Dizzy's Necro's Anger, from Guilty Gear, which is the original attack, but the attack as a whole is based off of Elizabeth's Ghastly Wail from Persona. Because we got the bow from Dizzy, and then we got the slash from Thanatos with Elizabeth to finish the job. Yes, this does do 6k. It is a very devastating grab to get hit by. It's also fast, like Tay or Genestic, etc. So, can't jump it on the Super Flash. Definitely something to be wary of if you're pressuring Tsubaki here. And that's about it for that. Gotta go into the global Exceed Excel change for super bosses, meaning the Exceed Excel is always the fast version from canceling into it. And, has increased and it was always the Active Flow version. On top of being the Active Flow version, I have increased the overall damage and quadrupled the minimum damage from 10% to 40%. As you can see, it now does 5,358 with no Active Flow. With Active Flow, it's probably gonna do like 6k or some shit. Ooh, close, but no, not quite. And lastly, I'm sure anyone that's watched the Mars run has been waiting for this part of the video. This is the last thing we talk about before we go into overdrive and hopefully finish the video in a timely manner. Oh god, it's 40 minutes? It feels like it didn't take that long, come on. Oh well. In case you're... yeah, let's just go into it. So despite the fact that Mocto Maledictus is permanently active and she has her install gauge permanently at 5, I did not delete Mocto Maledictus, but I did repurpose it. So, Mocto Maledictus has been heavily reworked, and it now costs 100 heat, and you have to be in overdrive for it. But, if you do so, just put Tsubaki, actually we'll leave her outside of overdrive. In overdrive, with 100 meter, if you do Mocto Maledictus, Tsubaki shall transform into Dark Tsubaki from Chrono Phantasma and the end of Continuum Shift, using her black outfit and everything. Now, obviously this is a very drastic change, and in addition to this is going to take a while to explain, I'm afraid, folks, I apologize, but if we put Tsubaki at 1 HP, you will notice, once you turn into Dark Tsubaki, she recovers all of her health. So she changes Dark Tsubaki, recovers all of her health, and recovers all of her health. I repeated myself, sorry. But although she recovers all of her health, Dark Tsubaki's health, as you can see up above, will start draining over time as soon as she transforms. And this lasts until she dies, and includes even if she's getting hit. So if she's getting hit in a combo, her health still drains. Just tacks on combo damage at that point. But as you can see, because of the fact that it does heal you, this is an extremely, extremely good comeback machine. That's not all, though. The Dark Tsubaki change and the health recovery is not where it stops. It is not just a cosmetic change either. In addition to her health, although her health does drain over time, her damage is increased by a full 50%. She gains an extra air dash and an extra jump, so she has 4 jumps and 3 air dashes. An additional 50% damage, which obviously is a huge buff. She also gets high passive heat regen, which I should show. I apologize for not being on top of this portion of the video. Oh shit, I need to actually give her 100 heat first. As you can see, her meter will passively refill at a pretty decently fast rate. All of her attacks are able to fatal counter as Dark Tsubaki. This includes even something as trivial as a 5A. Let's see. Sorry, I have to keep pausing. It's a long list I'm reading off of here. She gets a new special. The regular non-overdrive version of Tsubaki's her regular Requiem Maledictus is now usable as a special, which is 623B. Can only have 1 swarm of swords active at a time, but if you need a good meterless approach option that isn't orbs, you got one. Does pretty decent damage, too. On top of that, Kyrie Elysian meteors. Fucking hell, can I... can I stop pausing? Come on, Seth. Let's see here. Okay. Meteors will actually also be buffed, and that it'll spawn an additional swarm of meteors behind the opponent. Oh my... Oh god! Can anything survive that? I mean, not just getting hit, but like blocking it? Oh my god, that's more disgusting than I recall it being. And the last thing that Dark Tsubaki will add is that her 214-214C Ghastly Whale command grab. This distortion, while in dark form, is an instant kill. As you can see by the additional 37,000 damage that it deals at the end there. So just to recap, I know this is taking a while, but just to recap, Dark Tsubaki restores all of her health, drains it over time, however, but in exchange, she gets 50% more damage, an extra air option, high passive heat regen, all of her attacks can fatal counter, she gets Requiem Maledictus non-overdrive version as a normal special she can use, Meteors will spawn an additional swarm behind the opponent, and Ghastly Wail is an instant kill. And just for a nice little cherry on top, as you can probably already notice by now, so long as she's in dark form, the background in the stage will fade to the overdrive distortion background because it's kind of like a swarm of darkness and shit. It looks really cool. So, that's literally the only reason for that. Important note about Dark Tsubaki, it needs a custom palette file, which is probably going to fuck with anyone that uses custom colors. The way to get around this is to tack on your custom colors to the palette file, but even then, I will confess, I did get a bit lazy. The Dark Tsubaki color here only works on her default #1 color, because that's all I set it up for, unfortunately. If you Dark Tsubaki with any other color, she'll still change, but she'll be a completely black silhouette. This does have the benefit, though, that if you're playing a mirror match with Holy Guardian Tsubaki here, that the two players go dark mode, but at the same time, you'll be able to tell who's who. Because one will be a silhouette, and I imagine if one person's using the base color, they'll be normal Dark Tsubaki. If you all hate this, I imagine you will, but I'm just gonna have you say if you do. If you do want me to add proper Dark Tsubaki change to all of her other colors in the game, I will do that and update the mod accordingly. Just for you guys, because I like you a lot. Okay, that is enough about Dark Form. That was a very long explanation of about 5 minutes just on that part. Now we get to our overdrive, and hopefully the end of the video soon, because every time I do these I keep forgetting how long-winded they are. My throat's starting to hurt from talking too much, so hopefully we get this done fast. Anyways, overdrive. Gotta make sure the timer doesn't expire. So, in overdrive, Tsubaki gets an additional 25% damage. This actually stacks with her dark form for a overall 75% damage multiplier. Meaning that that currently, as of right now, she has the highest damage multiplier, I believe, of any super boss I've released, which includes Azrael. So she can shred health bars if she activates dark form, as long as her overdrive is active. In addition, when she hits overdrive... Shit, I need to, Shit. So if we do that... Hitting overdrive will restore her barrier gauge from danger state, and actually she has infinite barrier as long as she is in overdrive. I mean, the book shield kind of, I wanted to give infinite barrier to someone, and Tsubaki seemed like a perfect candidate. D versions of Aquum and Elysium, they're always aura boosted, even without having an orb prior to that, so you can do dumb shit like this. Both versions of Veritas have frame 1 invulnerability. B Decus always hits like on counter hit, so it staggers. Shit. Instead of normally sending the opponent away. So you can do Decus. Fucking, I think you have to jab off that or something. B Agnes Day will force crouching on standing hit, allowing you to easily, this actually will allow you to do this. Because Sanctus Arulata is no longer it can't purple grab anymore. Her command grab, meaning it can be used in combos, like so. So, B Agnes Day being... must be very blocked high. It's a good thing to catch your opponent with and then go into Arulata because that is free every time. And in addition to being unable to purple grab or being used in combos, now you can actually 6C off of the attack. With better time, you can probably get it to hit for real. But rather than have to special cancel or distortion cancel to tack on extra damage, because this has bonus proration, so this actually tacks on even more damage on top of what you're already getting. Fuck. Democto, forgot the name for it for a second, goes way faster, and in addition, tracks the opponent. You can imagine you can do some pretty fun stuff with that. And, yep, that's all for special changes. So, lastly, we just have overdrive changes for distortions. Starting with Confutatus Maledictus, C version. Shit. God damn it. The final hit restands the opponent into stagger state, allowing for non-air-based follow-ups, which I think means you can just do air a lot off of it. Oh my god! Okay, yeah, that's pretty good considering this move right here upscales your combo damage when you use it. The D version does get buffed in overdrive in that the final hit wall bounces, and in addition, this now has frame 1 invincibility. You can combo off that if you're not garbage. So this is frame 1 invulnerability now, kind of like the C version. There we go, Seth. Requiem Maledictus sends out a second swarm of swords shortly after she finishes the animation here. Meaning that effectively doubles the amount of pressure you can do with the move in itself. Dies Irae uses an Aura Charge Air Dive instead of a normal one. A normal, Aura frickin' Eterna instead of a normal one. And it's actually invincible now until after she's done landing. I think this mainly comes into effect if you do an air combo. Yeah, kind of like that. So it can multi-hit if you use it in the air. So the higher you can climb before you use that, the more damage you'll probably get off of the diving portion. Meteors! Instead of firing a bunch of small ones, this will now fire, in overdrive, a short string of 5 extremely huge spirit bombs. Was that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That do a shit ton of damage. I will confess, I did take the big orb idea in itself from Baroque, because his unlimited Tsubaki will actually fire one of those at the end of normal meteors. I didn't really know what else to do with overdrive meteors, and I really did like the idea, so I think just this one time I'm gonna chintz out, and, yeah. Oh, God. But yeah, she'll fire 5 of those big ones instead of several small ones, meaning they're a lot less avoidable. Overdrive Lacrimosa, the pillar lasts longer, and it's actually also air unblockable, so if they try to jump out of your trap there, they will get caught and pulled to the ground for additional devastation. Overdrive Ghastly Whale simply just has an additional attack at the end. Shit. That tacks on extra damage. Same as the dark version, except it doesn't instant kill you. But still does a total of 8k now instead of 6k, so drastic damage increase. And last but not least for distortions, we have Sanctus Dominus Overdrive version, which, once again, I'll just let you see it for yourself. That took so much effort to get working properly. It was worth it in the end, though. It looks really cool. Doles out a lot of punishment. So, I hope you love that as much as I do. Does that extremely, nearly 8k raw, and side switches now because of the Aura Charge Air Dive added on top of it. And that should do it for all of Tsubaki's, additional specials and distortions along the lines. But there is one more thing we have to get to, because this super boss has an instant kill. Once again with a classified command, but I will show you the instant kill attack in the video here. It's up to you to discover the command yourselves, I'm afraid. Adds some neat little mystery for you to go digging. Try all your commands out that you can think of. But if you are in overdrive with 100 meter, you can execute her instant kill attack. Let's see here. Wasn't it something along the lines of... Fuck. There we go. Kill him. So, aptly named after the attack I took that from, Holy Guardian Tsubaki instant kill attack is Dizzy's Hikari no Tsubasa, which actually, just fun fact, translates to Wings of Light, from Guilty Gear XX, I think? Dizzy doesn't have it in ACR Plus or anything like that. It was just in her debut game, I believe, where she was a boss. But, Tsubaki will transform into her astral form and slowly start charging up energy. And unleashes a full Scream Light Beam Apocalypse that will more than likely completely, instantly devastate whatever it hits. In addition to that, if for some reason you are still standing by her when she detonates that light barrage, it is completely unblockable. I say as 9 blocks it. Really? What the hell? Don't tell me I fucked that up and made it unblockable at long range. Huh. Doesn't really do much chip damage if you block it, but yeah, long startup, probably not gonna catch a normal player with this. I'll look into fixing the fact that it's not unblockable, because it should be if you're at a close enough range, akin to Dizzy's version, where it was also unblockable if you were too close to it. One last thing to note about Hikari no Tsubasa here is that if you are insane and skilled enough to Dark Tsubaki and Hikari no Tsubasa in the same round, you will be greatly rewarded. Shit. Motherfucker, this is not an easy command. You will be greatly rewarded with a nigh instant detonation of the instant kill attack. As you can see, if she does whiff the attack, or, well, she can't whiff it, the fucking thing covers the entire screen. If she does get blocked, however, with Hikari no Tsubasa, she is definitely open to eat extremely heavy punish with these extremely long... Oh, shit. Oh, it was unblockable that time if you're, like, point blank on her. Yeah, I'm gonna up the unblockable range. Probably around, like, here or something. If this is the death zone. If you're around this distance, you will die. That's just how it's gonna be. Okay. 58 minutes later. We're just under an hour, not counting the outro here. That is everything Holy Guardian Tsubaki has to offer. I spent quite a bit of time stylizing her, giving her all sorts of stuff, flashy aura, making her float. The floating was kind of annoying because I had to find good animations to use for her dash or forward walk, her back dash or backward walk there looked really good in my opinion. But I like Tsubaki. I feel like she doesn't get enough credit, so I wanted to give her some love with this mod right here. And I think I've done her more than enough justice. That's not funny stuff. Done her more than enough justice to please any and all Tsubaki fans out there, including myself. And also turned her into a much less weak of a character. She is definitely very formidable now as an enemy. With that out of the way, might as well end the video now. Not sure when the next upload will be, but I hope... I'm sure it might be something that at least some of you have heavily anticipated for a while. With that out of the way, signing off now. Catch y'all in the next video. We're going to end off the showcase as per usual with an astral.